a legend lost. The Titanic's enduring legacy, the RMS Titanic. Even today, the name echoes with a sense of awe and tragedy. This majestic ship, once hailed as the pinnacle of engineering and luxury, met a tragic end on its maiden voyage. On April 15, 1912, the Titanic slipped beneath the icy waves, claiming over 1,500 lives. The disaster sent shockwaves across the world, forever etching the Titanic's name in maritime history. For decades, the story of the Titanic has captivated our imaginations. The image of the grand vessel colliding with a massive iceberg has been ingrained in our minds. Yet recent discoveries challenge this narrative. Could there be more to the story than meets the eye? What if the iceberg was not the sole culprit? New evidence suggests a hidden danger, a fire within the ship's hull. This revelation has sparked debate, compelling us to re-examine the events. The Titanic's story is far from over. A giant among ships. Titanic's impressive statistics. To grasp the magnitude of the Titanic's tragedy, one must first understand the sheer scale of the ship itself. This leviathan of the seas, measuring a staggering 882 feet and 9 inches in length, was the largest moving object ever built at the time. Its massive hull, divided into 16 watertight compartments, was believed to be virtually impenetrable. The construction of the Titanic was a marvel of engineering, involving over 3,000 workers and taking more than 2 years to complete. The ship was designed to be the epitome of luxury and grandeur, boasting opulent staterooms, grand staircases, and even a swimming pool. No expense was spared in creating a vessel that exuded opulence and sophistication. The cost of building such a magnificent ship was astronomical, even by today's standards. The Titanic's construction cost an estimated $7.5 million, which translates to roughly $200 million in today's currency. This significant investment reflected the immense ambition and confidence surrounding the project. However, beneath the surface of this gilded giant, a hidden danger was brewing, one that would ultimately contribute to the Titanic's tragic fate. The hidden inferno, uncovering the hull fire. In recent years, a series of discoveries has cast a new light on the events leading up to the Titanic's sinking. Journalist Senan Maloney, who has spent years researching the disaster, uncovered a startling piece of evidence, a 30-foot-long black mark on the hull of the ship, visible in photographs taken before its departure. This mark, located near the area where the iceberg struck, was not the result of the collision itself. Experts believe it was caused by a coal fire that had been raging in one of the ship's coal bunkers for days, if not weeks, before the Titanic even left Southampton. The fire, fueled by tons of coal, burned at incredibly high temperatures, weakening the steel of the hull in the process. This weakened section of the hull, directly in the path of the impending iceberg, would prove to be a critical factor in the ship's demise. Section 4. A fatal weakness. How the fire doomed the Titanic. The impact of the iceberg on the weakened hull was catastrophic. While the ship was designed to withstand significant damage, the fire had compromised its structural integrity in a critical area. The steel, weakened by the intense heat, buckled under the pressure, allowing water to flood into multiple compartments. Had the hull been at its full strength, it might have been able to withstand the impact, or at least delay the flooding long enough for rescue efforts to be effective. However, the fire had created a fatal weakness, turning a potentially survivable incident into an unmitigated disaster. The Titanic's designers had proudly proclaimed that the ship could stay afloat even if 4 of its watertight compartments were flooded. However, the fire-weakened hull allowed water to breach at least 6 compartments, far exceeding the ship's safety limits and sealing its fate. Section 5. A sea of troubles. Contributing factors to disaster. While the hull fire played a significant role in the Titanic's sinking, it was not the only factor that contributed to the tragedy. A confluence of events, from financial pressures to human error, conspired to create the perfect storm that fateful night. The White Star Line, the Titanic's owners, were facing financial difficulties at the time and were under immense pressure to ensure the ship's maiden voyage was a success. This pressure may have contributed to a reluctance to delay the departure, even though the hull fire was known to the crew. Adding to the challenges, a coal strike had been disrupting shipping lanes, forcing the Titanic to use lower quality coal from other ships. This inferior coal may have contributed to the intensity and duration of the hull fire, further weakening the ship's structure. Section 6. Missed Opportunities. The Californian and Captain's Judgment. The tragedy of the Titanic is compounded by the knowledge that the ship was not alone on that fateful night. The SS Californian and other vessels sailing in the vicinity had actually stopped due to ice fields and had even warned the Titanic of the dangerous conditions. However, due to a combination of miscommunication and a phenomenon known as super-refraction, the Californian's crew misinterpreted the Titanic's distress signals and failed to respond in time. Had the Californian understood the gravity of the situation, they could have potentially reached the Titanic before it sank, saving countless lives. Adding to the tragedy, questions have been raised about the actions of Captain Edward Smith, the Titanic's experienced commander. Some historians believe that Captain Smith, under pressure to maintain the ship's schedule, and perhaps influenced by the lack of visible ice, may have made critical errors in judgment, such as maintaining a high speed in dangerous waters. Section 7. The Titanic's Legacy, a Story Retold. The sinking of the Titanic remains one of the most devastating maritime disasters in history. While the iceberg was the immediate cause of the sinking, the recent revelations about the hull fire paint a more complex and tragic picture. The fire, a hidden danger lurking beneath the surface of the opulent vessel, significantly weakened the ship's hull, making it vulnerable to the iceberg's impact. The Titanic serves as a stark reminder that even the most advanced technology and grandest ambitions can be brought low by unforeseen circumstances and human error. The story of the Titanic continues to fascinate and haunt us, reminding us of the fragility of life and the importance of vigilance, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. As we continue to uncover the secrets hidden beneath the waves, we gain a deeper understanding of the Titanic's tragic end. The story of the Titanic is not simply a historical event, it is a cautionary tale that continues to resonate with each passing generation.